Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Sorry it's been a while since I've actually posted. Ever since the update on Android phones, I haven't really been able to record, but I figured out how to do it and it's looking pretty good now. Anyhow, I wanted to post a video with the Love Cup still going on. I know that a lot of you weekend warriors are trying to get Legend this week or trying to get some of that rating. Today's team starts off with a Magcargo lead, Electrode safe swap, and then a Slowbro for closing. Now to briefly summarize, this team really focuses on the Magcargo's Overheat as well as Stone Edge being particularly threatening moves. Because of this, you want to be trying to land those for closing moves, but you can also just rely on the heavy damage from a Slowbro. The point of the Electrode is to take off as many shields as possible so that the other two can close up the game for you. I thought the team was really good because I felt like the form was really heavy in Charmers at first, but on top of that, it also had a lot of area doses running around. Because of this, I thought that Magcargo would be a really strong play here. Anyhow, let's get to some battles to see what this team does. So the first thing we go against is an aerial dose lead. It's a great lead for me, but also air itself is a good lead. They're going to respond with Electrode. This team's really common. They're likely going to have either an Alola Mola in the back or maybe like a Scrafty or Metacham. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out a Overheat as quickly as possible to either get a shield out, or B, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to take it out right away. I think they're going to block this one, so I'm going to switch into Electrode because I know the Electrode, my Foul Blade can take out their Electrode from this point. I gotta say the Electrode has probably been the king of the safe swap for this league over here. Volt Surge is a great move, Discharge does really solid damage, but on top of that, Foul Play is super effective to a lot of those psychic types like Slowbro. The Foul Plates mean that I could go ahead and farm it down and not really have to worry about it. This is going to do some damage, but not enough to really take me. It's just going to be near Discharge. Knowing that I still have a Magcargo, they're going to bring out the Aerodose because Aerodose is really bad against Magcargo, so they might as well take damage on the Aerodose at this point. If I had to guess, they're probably saving the Electro for a sack swap later on in the game. In this position, I'm just going to be throwing Charge as fast as possible because at the end of the day, it puts them in a position where they have to throw their move or they're going to use another shield on this Aerodose. They take out the Electro, which is fine because I'm still in a position where I can farm down the Aerodose all the way with my Magcargo. Both Lunge as well as Cross Poison don't really do enough damage to cause any threat to Magcargo. Now, at this point, I'm just going to be throwing my Overheat as fast as possible or my Stone Edge as long as I don't see an Electrode. So out comes then a Galarian Slowbro, which is fine. I'm basically going to still throw the Overheat here and then I'm probably going to switch directly into my Slowbro because I don't want to farm down my Magcargo. At this point, I can comfortably take out the Slowbro pretty easily. They tried to catch on the Electrolyte, which I thought they would. Either way, at this point, there's nothing my opponent could have done to have won that game. And there goes game one. In game two, we're going to see a really bad match on the front. It's going to be a Dradigan. So, Dradigan's just generally really good against this team because it has strong play against all my Pokemon. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch into my Slowbro right away and just try to get as much confusion damage as possible in. I'm going to take this Night Slash knowing that it's going to hurt a lot and maybe try to get out like a Psychic. But they bring out the Aerodose, which is actually great for me because at this point, I can either one-hit this Aerodose and win switch, or I can go ahead and farm it down with my Magcargo right afterward. So this shiny Aerodose has all the energy in the world right now, which I'm actually fine with because at the end of the day, I don't need to block anything with my Magcargo over here. They throw a Shadow Sneak, which is fine, I guess. I'm still just going to focus on farming it down. If I can farm it down, I'm pretty sure that Dradigan is about one Stone Edge away from getting KO'd. That second attack was a Lunge. I'm guessing just to get some extra defense on the Dradigan coming back out. So when I see this Dradigan, I go for one Incinerate and then I throw it right away. The big reason why I do this is because I don't want to give any extra moves to this Dradigan at all. I'm going to throw one more Incinerate here and then get my second Stone Edge out over here, and this should be able to KO out the Dradigan pretty easily. Now, I'm not 100% sure what's going to be in the back, but I'm guessing it's going to be a fire Pokemon because it protects against like fairy types, and it ends up being a Talonflame. At that point, my opponent sees the writing on the walls, and they go ahead and concede the game. Let's go to game 3. So in game 3, I start off with a great lead again. It's going to be a Wormadam, which means my Incinerate are doing double super effective damage. They don't switch out right away, but they eventually bring out their Medicham, which is fine with me. I'm going to throw this Overheat over here and then switch out into my Slowbro. The reason why I throw Overheat first is because I want to make sure that I win the switch. So the reason why I bring out Slowbro is because I literally can resist all moves from this Medicham. Counter, Power Punch, Ice Punch, Psychic, it doesn't matter. I can go ahead and resist everything. An important note about this matchup, you actually want to let the first charge move go. And the reason is because if it's a Psychic, if it lowers your defense, you have to block the second move. If it's a Power Punch, then you didn't block a Power Punch. Either way, you're okay with literally taking the first move, maybe even the second move if they pop the action on the first one. So they Power Punch twice, meaning that I can't actually afford to take a Psycho here. So I'm going to block the third charge move they have and go ahead and farm down with my Slowbro. This Psychic, although resisted, it would have definitely taken out Slowbro. So I want to point out that my opponent actually switched out of their Medicham into the Alola for some reason. I'm guessing they felt that the Medicham might be able to do some counter damage on the Magcargo at the end of the day. That being said, unfortunately for my opponent, I kind of triple counter them and they have no way of really winning this game. Down goes Alola. They're going to bring out the Wormadam back. The Confusion damage do some damage, but because of the amount of damage that my Electrode is doing over here, I'm pretty sure my opponent doesn't have any plays for the rest of the game. If I let my Electrode go down, my Magcargo can come down and farm down this Wormadam, and then my Slowbro can actually take out the Medicham pretty easily. Props to my opponent for fighting the good fight. You know, that's definitely something that they can choose to do at that point. In came the Medicham, out went the Medicham, and now I'm going to go ahead and just finish this game with an Overheat on the Wormadam. And there goes game 3. So in game 4, I see a really terrible matchup. It's going to be a Scrafting in the front. So the way you want to play this is you actually want to stay in, take one charge move, and then go for an Overheat. The Overheat will do a lot of damage to the Scrafty or get a shield. Either way, that's fine. They went for a foul play, which is I think is the correct call from them. If they went for a Power Punch, they would be committing too much on relying on the Scrafty to finish the game for them. With the Scrafty though, I'm actually going to bring out my Electrode to farm it down. And now I'm in a really good position. My opponent brings out a Slowbro over here, and I'm at this point thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure I have this game down because in this matchup, they're probably going to have a Slowking in the back that's a Poison and Psychic type as well. The reason is because both of those protect the Scrafty pretty well. So if we want to close the Scrafty, it's actually really easily doable. I should have won this game pretty easily, but I actually, spoilers, I actually misplayed really badly at some point. What I should have done is that I actually should have blocked this and taken out this Slowbro right away with the foul play. Instead, I let my Electrode go down, and I'm now going to bring out my Magcargo to go ahead and let it take damage from the Slowbro. They switch out into their Slowking, which I expected them to have, and at this point what I should be doing is that I should actually be trying to farm down as much as possible. The reason for this is because the Slowbro that they have is actually quite high in energy at the moment. So the fact that I threw this Psychic really early in is going to hurt me later on in the game. Because my Magcargo took a Confusion damage, it actually has very little play over here. And because I didn't conserve more energy at the end of the Slowking fight, they're actually going to outpace me to a charge move over here. In retrospect, what I should have done is I actually should have just charged as much energy as possible on the Slowking and just thrown a charge against the Slowbro over here. One of the most common mistakes that trainers have is that they actually throw their charge moves too quickly. It's very important that you maintain composure, keep calm, and make sure that you save energy for the next fight. It's actually one of those key things that really help players get to Legend. Anyhow, let's go to game 5. So in game 5, I actually get a good lead. It's going to be an Gyarados, so they're going to probably switch out right away, which they do, into the Alola, and I respond with my Slowbro, which counters the Alola pretty well because I don't need to block Psychic, and on top of that, I just resist these waterfall damage pretty easily. I gotta say, one of the most common pairings I would actually see would be the Ariados lead as well as Alola in the back. So one thing I want to point out is that you'll notice that I actually went for 2 Confusions before throwing there, and the reason is because with 2 Confusions, my opponent would not be able to respond and would definitely not get an extra charge move if I threw the attack right away. This time, I threw on cue, they snuck in a move, but I'm okay with that because they don't really want to block this move over here anyway. Their last Pokemon is a pretty spicy pick. Is going to be an Electrode. Now, I actually don't have a Hisuian Electrode at the moment, but I hear they're pretty cool. Because of the situation, I know that my Magcargo can beat both the Electrode as well as the Ariados. So I'm going to bring out my Electrode here just to soak up damage, because this thing was able to farm me down with Thunder Shocks. It has just way too much energy over here. I'm going to throw one foul play, knowing that they can't really go for a energy ball or a wild charge here without being super low in energy. Because Electrode is an electric type, I know for a fact that they cannot farm me down with Thunder Shocks. They switch back into Ariados in hopings to catch a move, but I don't really fall for it. At this point, the only thing I need to do is I need to make sure that I get off at least one charge move ready to go when I take out this Ariados. The reason is because the Electrode is low enough to be knocked out by a foul play from my Electrode. This Stone Edge is going to take out the Ariados pretty easily, and now my Magcargo is only 1 Incinerate away from another charge move for this Electrode over here. And they concede for game 5. So when playing this team, there are a couple things that are really obvious in terms of what will beat you. You definitely don't want to see things like Medicham or even the Scrafty in the front. When you see that, the play will always be the same for those two. You want to throw one Overheat and then switch out into either the Safe Swap or the Slowbro. If you see an Alola in the front, you want to switch into the Electrode right away because it has a lot of play against about anything that would come out. I think the key thing to remember with this team is that the Electrode is meant to take shields down for your Magcargo to finish off games with like Overheat or Stone Edge. Because of this, if you can get an Overheat off on something like a Medicham or a Stone Edge off of a Alola, you're gonna have a lot more play later in the game. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, go and give me a thumbs up, and if you want more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. I'm generally going to be doing more videos more often now that I'm able to record again. But on top of that, I know next week is going to be showing the 3 main leagues: Great League, Master League, Ultra League, and I'm probably going to put some content out for that as well. Okay, other than that, I wish all the best luck in the Battle League out there.